Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at some pretty interesting stuff today. So first, we're going to look at Bitcoin dominance, the Dixie. We're also going to have a good look at Binance Coin, which is it's going bonkers. Where's the top? Basically, is what we want to know. So first of all, from the live stream, and I suppose the little introduction video I made last night about, is this possibly the end of ALTS season? It was all based upon this trend line being touched last night. This is a multi-year trend line. So if you watch the video, basically just suggests that support here, and again, we touched it today. So yesterday. So this was the indication that. Might not be alt season over, but it would definitely suggest that Bitcoin dominance could increase, basically meaning rotation back into Bitcoin, or Bitcoin basically moving faster than altcoins. Or it could also mean, if there were to be a dump, that if everything goes down, Bitcoin dumps less. So there's a number of outcomes based upon what we see on this. Basically, there's a very simple read on a chart here. The idea was that we discussed several strategies last night in the live stream, and I suppose the safer method, is to play both sides. Just in case this were to break down. If this were to break down below this trend line, it would be really good for alts. It would be the best, actually. It would be an alt season like 2017. That's what it would be like. But we've not broken down below it, but we have only just tested it one day, and we are rallying from it. So what we're looking to see is there going to be a rejection at any of these levels? I'll be looking for a rejection possibly around 63.7, 63.8, which is basically the daily center of the Bollinger Band. Basically, we don't really have a great deal of confluence around any other zone. But we just have to wait and see, and so that's what I was saying last night. The right thing to do, really, I suppose, would be to scale back into Bitcoin around this level, just in case it moves up. And if it moves down, it doesn't mean that you're losing out massive amounts. It just means that you just transfer your Bitcoin back into whatever altcoin you want. Excuse me. So that was the strategy we discussed on the live stream last night. And I think a few people were doing that anyway. So it's nice to see that people are thinking ahead, and that's the idea: is to think ahead, and plan, for the inevitable outcome of what it would mean if Bitcoin dominance bounced from here. Doesn't mean though that alts are going to suffer. Alts could still rally, but as far as Satoshi pairings are concerned, they will rally less. On the whole. Anyway, so that was Bitcoin dominance, and obviously let's have a quick brief look at the Dixie. Simple as this. Rejected from this zone that we had marked out. 91.6, finding a rejection there. It's not significant, I should say. This isn't a big rejection. It's a rejection all the same, but it's not massive. So a bit of I suppose underwhelming performance from Bitcoin, even though it has rallied 5 or 6%, which is obviously still pretty good. But talking of rallies, I mean, we'll look at that in a minute. Right, so this is the deal with Bitcoin. We got a resistance that we've broken above here. Now we're testing the new level of resistance, $40,000 flat. Breaking above $40,000 flat will probably, in my opinion, start to strive for a new all-time high. But as far as the chart is concerned, the indicator is concerned, we're above all major moving averages. We're above this major level of resistance. We are finding a bit of a problem at 40,000, and we've got an itchy cloud conversion baseline cross. Now, this is above the cloud. It is a positive cross, but if we were to look at the three levels of confirmation, we don't have the third one. You could argue that you could let this one slide a little bit, because the Chiku span was in this candle when the cross took place last night, and obviously it's above the candle and the price action now, so that's how you're really supposed to trade it. So technically it's not perfect, but it is pretty good. So this could mean a continuation of a trend, or the start of a trend, should I say, the start of a trend from here, which obviously is going to be pretty exciting for Bitcoin holders. But the proof will be in the pudding. We have to wait till $40,000 is broken and ideally turn to support. Just breaking above it doesn't mean a great deal. We could be rejected from any of these zones here and come smashing back down. Breaking above it, flipping it as support on a confirmation, probably even as low as a 4 hourly, but I like dailies best, and that should offer us that kind of confirmation that we need. Now, if we're looking at all these other indicators, they are all very good. Money flow index is coming back up nicely. We also have all these indicators and oscillators are looking pretty good. So actually, Bitcoin does look good. The only thing that we need to worry about is are we going to get rejected, from 40,000 or from the last all-time high around 42,000 or thereabouts. So this is more of a blue box zone in my opinion now, rather than a simple trend line of 40,000. So we'll just pop that in, 40,000 to the all-time high. That's the new zone that we need to break above. Obviously, getting into the $40,000 zone is a bonus, and staying within there is a bonus. Right, so that said, let's have a look at this beast. CZ's pressed the button too many times, hasn't he, today and last night? I mean, he's pressed the pump button too many times. 1, 2, 3, 4 giant pumps. So from the from lift off to where we are at right now, we're talking 70% move. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I've been earning BNB with my bot pairing for a long time, but we'll talk about bots in a moment, because this one's brought me out of range now, because the pump has been so dramatic. But I've been earning BNB with my trading bots for months now, so I'm obviously very happy. That has been my bot profit the entire time. But it needs to slow down, and my opinion is that it will slow down. Look, we are outside of this Bollinger Band. We do not care about the Bollinger Band at all. We closed well above it, we opened well above it, we're pumping well above it. It's going to have to come down. I don't know what's caused this pump, how it's doing it, why it's doing it, but it's continuing every time I look at the screen. So it's going to have to be one of those wait and see. As far as other indicators concerned, money flow index is surprisingly high, but still not a overall peak. It has been higher than this a couple of times. So let's just have a quick look at what it was when it did peak at these levels. I mean, that peaked there, that's no big deal. This peaked here, that's no big deal. This peaked here, and this peaked here. So the money flow index isn't really going to give us any insight, I'm afraid, to BNB and any opportunity to get out. Let's have a look at the RSI. The RSI is a very high read. Actually, is this the highest read it's ever had? It is. This is the highest RSI daily read that it's ever had, and what looks like the highest MACD read it's ever had. So I would probably argue that that it's going to come crashing back down again. Now, when it does come crashing back down again, where are we going to come down to? We have this trend line here. This is our, well, what would be a resistance, used to be anyway. Bump, spot in the tops, and we've gone straight through it this time. So that could be part of the reason why it's rallied so much, because the other day, 2 days ago, we touched it again as a resistance, and since breaking through it, it's gone a whopping 32%. Actually, when you talk about it in those terms, 32% in altcoin land isn't enormous, but this is BNB we're talking about. It's a top cap coin. They generally don't rally to such a large extent. I think the rally is due to end shortly. I cannot imagine this going a great deal further, but I did say that last night, and we carried on another, well, it looks like about 8% or so. Oh no, another 12%. So it's crazy times for BNB. But I think when it does come down, it will come down to possibly back down to this trend line, wherever it may be at the time, which would be a significant drop. But again, I cannot really chart something that's essentially had a parabolic move. 23% retracement, it's not out of the realms of possibility. And especially if Bitcoin were to reject from here, bringing the market down, if dominance continues to remain high, it would mean that when Bitcoin rejects, and if dominance continues to go up, altcoins get significantly hurt. They get hurt a lot more. So a 20% move back down for BNB probably wouldn't surprise any of us. We've seen that before with BNB anyway. So we'll just move briefly on to the bot trading. So those of you who follow me on my Telegram and part of the Patreon, we've all been trading BNB pairs for a prolonged period of time, because it's been a stable enough asset to catch up with. Obviously, if you don't know about the trading bots, you might not know what I'm talking about. But this is my graph, and for the first time, it's actually come out of range. This basically means that I have to, and the way to look at this would be to, first of all, what do we expect with BNB? Do we expect it to come down? I do, which should have an impact on this chart, meaning that this chart would go up. Also, what do I think with SXP? Let's have a quick look at SXP, shall we? And what do I think is going to happen with SXP? Well, I mean, we spoke about it last night, but we've also had a very, very long and hard pump here. Pump, actually, should I say, and we're in this blue box, and so long as we're closing in here, proving it to be some form of support, then it's just a matter of waiting for price action to catch up with the moving averages to catch up with the price action. We can see that on the 4 hourly that this has already kind of taken place, bouncing essentially from the centre of the Bollinger Band. Those bounces aren't significant, but they're not going to be, in my opinion, they're not likely to continue with a giant rally at the moment, especially with the dominance looking like this, but also because it's rallied so hard so fast. So it's just a matter of hoping that this one stays relatively bullish. And as far as the chart's concerned, I do think it's bullish, but it's going to have a bit of a lull. It's going to have a period of perhaps maybe not consolidation, but chill out time. If we have a look at some of these reads, these are all turning down. That is a very high read on the RSI. Money flow index, pretty high, second highest it's ever been. So yeah, I mean, this whole bot scenario for me, I'm going to leave to play out and hope for the best. End of the day, if it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's made me, quite a lot of B&B in a small space of time. $2,500 worth of B&B in under 2 weeks, 11, 12 days. So it's not done too bad for itself. So if this ends up being the death of this bot, so be it. So be it. What I would do if I were you, if I was trading this bot particularly, this is what I mean, not if I were you, if I am me, what am I going to do? That's the best way to explain it. You guys do what you want. What I'm going to do, if this inevitably looks like it's not going to come back into range for a prolonged period of time, I'll close it, but I will not close it to sell to B&B. I will close it and cancel all open orders, and I will keep my SXP, because I do think the SXP chart is actually bullish. And so what this would mean is that yes, the bot will cease to exist. The B&B that I've earned and the B&B that's tucked away in my wallet will remain, as will the SXP, and I will hold them as a spot trade essentially until it reaches my next level of targets. I've always said on SXP that this zone is going to be the hard one to break. We just didn't anticipate the super pump with B&B, and that unfortunately has upset the process of this bot. I will give this over the weekend, chance to make, to get back into the range. But if it doesn't get back into the range, that's how I'll deal with it. I would like to keep the SXP as SXP. I would not really fancy selling it to B&B when I'm expecting B&B to come down perhaps a sizable amount, and when the future is potentially quite so, pretty rosy for SXP over the coming weeks, or definitely months, definitely. So that's the deal, and that's how I'll deal with it. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to join my Patreon, get access to 2 live streams a week, £7.50 a month, and the links are in the description below, as are all the links for bot trading and money off your Binance fees. I've got links for about everything, but there's a Telegram and it's absolutely free, so just join in that. It's a big chat room. Everyone's just talking about crypto all day, if that's your thing. Anyway, take it easy, have a nice day, see you later.